It's no secret that I love to travel. If you've been in the City Girl Savings community for a while, then you know that traveling is very high on my priority list. There's something exciting about going somewhere new, experiencing a place you've never seen before. It's kind of hard to describe the feeling, but traveling just does it for me. In this episode, I'm sharing how traveling feeds my soul and keeps me motivated to work hard and reach my goals. Welcome to the City Girl Savings Podcast. I'm Rhea Reeves, founder and finance coach of City Girl Savings. I turned my life around with budgeting many years ago, and now I'm on a mission to help others do the same. I fully believe that you can enjoy your life on a budget, and this weekly show will focus on the intersection of money and the City Girl lifestyle. Join me every week along with some special guests as I share my experiences, advice, and guidance on navigating life and money as an experience-loving millennial. Before we dive in, I want to answer a City Girl Solutions question that came in. I started a business last year and I'm not seeing the money come in as quickly as I hoped. How do you stay motivated to keep going when you're feeling defeated? Oh, this is such a good question. And if you have heard the story of how City Girl Savings came to be, you'll know I struggled with the very same thing. It took me 8 months to get my first sale in business. Seriously, 8 months. And that first sale, you don't see me, but I'm doing quotations with my hands. That sale was actually free. I offered to create a budget plan for someone in exchange for a review. Now, that turned out to be a wise move because that review ended up getting me a handful of true sales. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent. Back to your question. How do you stay motivated when you're feeling defeated? For me, I was and still am extremely passionate about the mission of City Girl Savings. I truly believe that women everywhere deserve financial independence and they can have it no matter what their situation looks like. That kept me motivated because I'm so passionate about this company and what we are doing. That encouraged me to see it through, to continue blogging and sharing social media posts every day for 8 months before I made any type of traction. I knew the power of our mission and I stood behind it. So my advice would be make sure that whatever business you're doing, there is passion behind it. You truly love it. You truly enjoy it. And it's not all about the money. The money will come if the right intentions are there. And even if the right intentions aren't there, money may come, but it's not going to leave you feeling as fulfilled as you deserve to feel. So my advice is make sure you're doing something that you're incredibly passionate about. That way, if the money doesn't come in, you still feel great about what you're doing. All right, I am so excited for today's episode because traveling is so important to me. I love to travel. I love thinking about my travels. I love thinking about where I'm traveling next. And I'm just excited. It's a little less strategy in this week's episode, but definitely a lot of what I love, which is travel. So why don't I start with the reasons why I love to travel? I think first and foremost, I have a serious case of wanderlust. Seriously, I just truly think there is so much to do and see in this world, and I want to do and see it all. I don't think I'll be able to see everything in my lifetime, considering I'm probably a third of my life through, ideally. But that's not going to keep me from trying, right? I don't know if it's because when I was little, my parents would send my brother and I away for summers, right? That definitely contributed to me being independent. But I've been on a plane for my whole life, right? Like as a baby, as an infant, as a toddler, as a child, as a teen, as an adult, I've been on the plane. So maybe it's just ingrained in me. but I definitely have wanderlust. Another reason I love to travel is I love the feeling I get when I'm exploring. Anytime I'm in a new place or a new setting, even if it's, a new restaurant here in Austin, I'm very present and I love that feeling of experiencing something new, exploration, just learning new things, seeing new things. It just makes me feel so cultured. I want to say accomplished, but I don't think that's accurately describing it. I would say more cultured, right? I just feel like I know a little bit more about life when I explore and see new things. I also love seeing how other people think, act, and live life, especially internationally. It's so easy to kind of be in our own little bubble and think that people are doing what we're doing, and it's just not the case. And I love being able to see how other people do things. Another reason why I love to travel is because traveling breaks up my normal routine and environment. I'm a Virgo and I'm a type A. So I am very structured, probably borderline rigid. I very much value routine. So my day to day kind of looks the same. But when I travel, it totally breaks up my normal routine and obviously my environment because I'm somewhere new. So whenever I do travel, I really look forward to just being out of my normal routine and comfort zone and switching things up. It definitely helps to recharge me. I also love to travel because traveling gives me energy to get back home, get to work, and get ready for the next trip. Seriously, anytime I go on a trip, I thoroughly enjoy myself. But by the end of the trip, I'm actually looking forward to coming home and getting back to work. It's pretty crazy, but I will definitely share more about this when I talk about how traveling motivates me. The final reason why I love to travel is because I actually enjoy the planning process of traveling. I plan and book my own trips. I love researching unique things to do and places to see in each location. I like looking at restaurants and the pictures and the reviews and the menu. I like searching for activities and seeing what's popular. I like looking for popular areas or things that aren't as touristy. I just love the entire planning process of booking a trip. So that makes the experience that much more fun for me. And it also makes me feel good when people I'm traveling with are loving the trip that I put together. It's like a nice little added bonus. Okay, so those are the reasons why I love to travel. I want to quickly share a few reasons why I think everyone should travel and explore. First and foremost, traveling makes you a more open minded individual. I kind of touched on this, but when you travel, you get out of your bubble, you get out of your comfort zone. And that is such an eye opener to be in a new place, be in a different place, be away from home. It just naturally opens your mind to more possibilities. It also opens your mind to recognizing that you can have more for your life. You don't have to just stick with what you got. And traveling can be very grounding. Seeing that things like water and power are scarce makes you a much more grateful and humble individual. I find this to be especially true in Caribbean countries that I've been to. These places are just so beautiful, and to experience it is amazing. But when you leave the beach area and you see how the locals live, it's very grounding, incredibly grounding. Again, it just makes you a more grateful, more humble, more open-minded individual. Got a money question you want me to answer on the podcast? I'm starting a new segment on the show called City Girl Solutions, where I answer any questions you have for me. Money, business, life, you name it. Submit your questions at citygirlsavings.com/QA and get your question answered by me in a future episode. And did you know that we have so many free money resources on our blog, Instagram, and TikTok channels? Find us across the internet at City Girl Savings. Okay, so you know by now how traveling feeds my soul. Let's talk about how traveling keeps me motivated to reach my goals. I love traveling for all of the reasons I listed, but I also love it because it really does motivate and inspire me to continue working for more. It's funny, the more I travel, the more I want to travel. But traveling takes money. So if I want to keep traveling, I got to keep working. And I am actually okay with that. Whenever I travel, I'm about 85 to 90% shut off from work. And I know you're probably shaking your head. I'm working on this, okay? But even with being 85 to 90% shut off from work, it still helps me recharge and rejuvenate. I still feel the energy surge through me when I'm at the end of a trip. And like I mentioned earlier, 9 times out of 10, by the end of the trip, I am ready to get back to the grind. I enjoyed myself. I rested. I rejuvenated. I got my motivation. Now I'm ready to get back to work so I can get to the next trip. And as I get older, I realize that I like nice things when I travel. I don't want to have to worry about money. And thank goodness I haven't had to worry about it in the last 6 or 7 years at least when I'm traveling. This is another motivator to work hard and then play hard. I'm telling you, the more you travel, the more you want to travel. But the more you travel in style, the more in style you want to travel. You know how I said that traveling opens your mind? Well, when I travel, I always seem to get a taste of the good life. And I'm doing air quotes, the good life. Not that I only travel from a materialistic perspective, because that's definitely not the case, but experiencing the finer things on vacation motivates me to put myself in a position to have those things at my discretion. I don't always have to take myself up on the option, but I always want to have the option. So, you probably know that I've been in a relationship for almost 12 years now, which is crazy. So, I always have a travel partner, but I still travel solo. And whether you have a travel partner or not, in fact, even if you have a travel partner, I would encourage you to travel solo. Traveling solo or by yourself is such a great way to get to know yourself, but also to understand what you enjoy, how you really are and function, and just be with yourself. So, some of my solo travel experiences include traveling for work. I worked for a major financial institution and I did this for almost 11 years. But for about 6 months, I was in this role where I would travel the Pacific Northwest of the United States. So, was that Washington, Oregon, California? So I would travel to these branches and I would basically be like a secret shopper. I would pretend I was looking to open a new account and just gauge the customer service experience in these branches. Now, financial institutions, branches, I mean, they have, 9 to 5 p.m. hours. So I would be in these places for at least a day or two. And once I was done with my work, I would go explore. I had a daily limit for food. So I would take myself to nice restaurants. I would research places to go in the town and I would literally be out. And it was amazing. So if you can travel for work, I highly recommend you do so. I know it doesn't always happen, but it's a great way to explore without you having to worry about the cost. But I didn't just travel by myself for work. I actually, a couple years ago, took a week-long trip to Los Angeles and Palm Springs, which, if you know anything about me, my life goal is to own a second home in Palm Springs and stayed out there by myself. I rented a car, stayed in a hotel. I have some good friends in LA, so I spent some time with friends. But when I was in Palm Springs, I was by myself, literally just soaking in what I wanted my life to look like. Being in that city, I knew I wanted to eventually have a place there. So to be able to go and just live life in that place was just magical. So I definitely recommend solo travel. And here are some tips. If you do plan on taking a trip by yourself, here are a few things to just keep in mind. Plan as much as you can ahead of time. So whether you're going for work or you're doing this trip on your own, have as much as possible planned ahead. You don't want to be spontaneous while you're there. You want to know everything that you want to do and see while you're there. So plan ahead. In addition to planning ahead, do your research to ensure that you're only going places you feel safe. As women, traveling solo can be scary, and I totally get it. But if you do your research and stick to the safe areas, you will be fine. Do not be afraid to take yourself out. Do not skimp on the experiences, especially if you're traveling for work. And I want to end this episode with some of my travel goals. So one of my travel goals is to visit all 50 states in the United States, and I've been to 36 so far. Some of my favorite states are California, obviously. I want a second home in Palm Springs. Nevada, I actually love Las Vegas. I always get good feelings when I go there. Highly recommend it if you've never been. Another favorite state is New Mexico. My dad, when he was alive, had a second home in New Mexico. So when me and my brother were little, we would go out there with him. So have fond memories of New Mexico. I also really like New York. I feel like New York City, there's no place like it, but upstate New York is beautiful as well. And Utah is gorgeous. So those are some of my favorite states. But another travel goal I have is to visit as many countries as possible as well. So notice I didn't give myself a specific number here. I mentioned earlier, I want to do and see it all, but there's a lot to do and see. I may not hit it all in my lifetime, but if I can see as many countries as possible, I will feel accomplished. And I've been to 15 so far. Now, some of my favorite countries include South Africa. Cape Town is gorgeous. Italy, oh my gosh, I went for my birthday last year and that place is beautiful. I absolutely love it. Croatia, I did a Mediterranean cruise a long time ago and we stopped in Dubrovnik for a day. Very cool place. Aruba, I loved Aruba. Highly recommend it. And Turks and Caicos. So there you have it, how traveling feeds my soul, how it inspires and motivates me to work hard and reach my goals, and some of my own travel goals. I hope I have encouraged you to travel more, take a solo trip, or just get out of your comfort zone. Thank you so much for tuning in to City Girl Savings today. I hope you feel empowered and inspired to master your money as you make your way to your dream life. Make sure you subscribe so you're the first to know when a new episode comes out. I truly value your thoughts and feedback, so please leave a review and let me know how this podcast has impacted you. Can't wait to chat soon and make it a great day.